It's hard to understand the way that you went out. I bet you're living with a little hint of doubt. Maybe next time when you gotta show your hand, you won't cut and run, you'll finally make a stand. 'Cause I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. Existential questions always get you down. All you want to know is are we lost or found? Is there something that you feel you need to chase? I bet you thought you put me in my place. 'Cause I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. We're not through. Yeah, I know it's true, I'm finally getting to you. You can run, you can hide, but inside, I'm finally getting to you. Yes, it's true. I still love you, but I am getting to you.
Stand by to initiate release sequencer. On my mark.
We're on express elevator to hell. Going down.
2, 1. Mark.
Welcome back to the Resupply with me, Guy Next Door.
And me, 1/6 of the Laserforce champions of the world, DK.
Bringing you some bullshittery, your weekly-ish double tap of all things Space Marines and Laserforce. Lucy with the sub, 26 months. Also, BC Guy Next Door with those Bezos subs. Shot, bro. Get that money. Than is still missing. Who?
Bezos bucks.
Who's what? Than? What is this?
Well, see, what happened was, as I was coming back to the States, Than was like crossing in the other direction. So he's probably on his way to New Zealand right now.
Probably.
We're just catching him in transit.
Yeah. I can't wait. He'll be live here next week, maybe.
Wouldn't that be fucking wild?
It would be, especially if I don't end up doing a show next week. But we'll talk about that. Nice to see you guys. It's been a few weeks since we've done this, and I gotta say, I missed it. I've missed the podcast.
It feels like a long time, and yet like not that long, because I saw all of you in person like not that long ago. But
Yeah.
that's starting to feel like a long time ago. It's very weird.
It is very weird. Who are you? Dunno. Some.
Of course, I still have that nice cough to remember you all by.
Me too. Oh, actually, mine went. Yeah, but I got some extra scars, which is cool. Well,
Dig scars, man.
yeah. My wife was like, "Ooh, take your shirt off." Yeah.
Like he's missing some teeth. I'm missing my pants.
This ain't hockey.
some boo scars. That's what they're called. They're called boo scars. We man, a lot has happened in the last month since we did the show. Because I think it's been almost a month since we did a Resupply podcast. Yeah, we're going to talk about some of it because that's what we do.
Yeah. I mean, come on, you guys were there. You saw what happened, right? What do we even need to recap for?
Taipan, what's up, dude? Thank you very much.
Taipan, we've been blessed by the Taipan, by the Taizen.
Now
that he's retired, he can truly be the Taizen.
He'll never be Zen. It's so funny. Dolly with the sub as well. What's up, Fano? 34 months. Thank you so much. We're very close to the hype train. Very, very close. It's so funny how often Taipan came up to me during the week at Nats and was like, "See, Steve-O, like, look how calm I am," and I'm like, "Just wait, just wait. I'm waiting." You're like, no, it's fine. I'm Zen all weeks. My new attitude. I was like, okay, buddy. Okay, we'll see.
2 minutes later, you have been penalized for a mission violation.
Oh, what? Gun! Yeah, it's Glader with the Chaos Nexus. I was like, Chaos Sexual? That's a weird name. Dude, thanks for the gift sub.
I used to be a Chaos Sexual.
Taipan and Josiah
I
will come.
used an anal bum cover once.
What the fuck? Where's my soundboard? I need to go on the soundboard. With the biddies as well. It's I've missed you all. We've sort of obviously for those of you who know, which is all of you, we Lucy with the gift sub too. Let's. You guys really wanted to catch that hot train.
There you go. Give that rookie of the year some nice love.
Well, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that's his trophy.
It's on the list.
I'll just clip this and send it
Yeah,
to
that's it. Trophy. That's what you get, Know It All. Instead of a trophy, you get 1 free month of subscription to the Resupply.
Worst trophy ever. So yeah, obviously for those of you in the know, we did a thing recently. All of you guys came down and you hung out in our backyard, and we played laser tag for a week. Well, some of us played a full week. Other of us didn't quite make it. And then we went and did rad stuff. But we're gonna talk about the Laserforce side of things because it was pretty great. Not everyone came down. I technically came up, I guess.
And then, in some future week, we'll get Than's take on stuff, since I guess, like, he had a somewhat different perspective on it just watching it on stream.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
But, I think we'll get into, like, probably in the coming weeks, we'll get into, like, maybe some of the more nitty-gritty behind some of the games, because then we have the videos posted, and we can, like, break them down in more detail. But, yeah, today's, like, a kind of overview of the tournament as a whole, I guess.
Well, so on that then, let's quickly start there. So I've spent this week going through uploading all of the game broadcasts to the Laserforce tournaments page. I can't remember if we've got a thing for them. Let's have a look. Tournaments? Is that how you is it tournaments or tournaments?
Mints.
That didn't work. Here we go. This one, right?
Tournaments.
Yeah, I got it. So
there we go.
Spent the week uploading all of the replays. What's up, man? All the replays to YouTube. So if you missed any of the days, or you want to go back and rewatch some of the days, it's all up there. I was meant to go back and actually watch some of it, specifically finals, but I'm having a real hard time actually watching finals because it's a bit of a sore point for me. But we'll get into that.
I know your pain, my friend.
Yeah. So all the replays are up there on the tournaments page. If you aren't already following the tournaments YouTube channel, you should. What I've also done is I've uploaded all of the recap pods that we did for day 1, 2, 3, and 4 onto our YouTube channel. Oh, Redneck Tech, what's up, dude? Thank you very much for the follow.
Pirate himself.
Now, what's this Twitch bullshit all about? You've seen a few. I wouldn't put it past you, Si. Wouldn't put it past you. Yeah. If you want to go back and check out our page. Is that the right thing? It is the right thing. You go back and check out the recap podcast. They're all up on our YouTube page. So follow.
See here clearly, his phaser goes back and to the left, back and to the left, back and to the left. Now that should have been a shield.
That's right, dude. I was getting those messages specifically from Simon for what, a couple of weeks after we played.
Let it go, bro.
Yeah.
Let it go.
I was like, what? What are you talking about? I don't care. That's ages ago. Read on the finals, exactly right. But yeah, so if you want to check out all the footage from there, you can do. There's also on my page, I don't know if everyone's seen it. Probably everyone's seen it because I put it up on a bunch of places. I've got my own YouTube channel, which I just post random shit to. But I made a video of the recap of our trips, of our trip afterwards. Not trips. Of our trip afterwards, and it's pretty good. You should go watch it. It's pretty great. And then also on the Loveland channel, which I think is Loveland, that one that doesn't do anything.
It might be still the exclamation mischief.
Oh yes,
that's the old name of the channel.
Actually, it might not be. I think his one's a different channel. Did he put it on his?
Well, he had Laser Mischief and some other Mischief channel, because I know he has two channels. I think Laser Mischief became Loveland SM5, but I could be wrong.
Okay, well, it's this one here. This one here is the other YouTube channel that you guys should
stop changing
should
your
follow.
names. You're changing all this shit around.
But he also made a recap video, which is worth a watch actually. So go check out all that stuff if you haven't already. Go check it all out. So much content came out of the week, which I don't know if you know this, but I'm a whore for content. A content whore. Connoisseur. That's the word I'm looking for.
Connoisseur.
Connoisseur. Go check out all the stuff because there's lots of stuff to check out. Right. The actual week of Nats. I hope that everyone enjoyed Nats this year. Really, for us, for Auckland Laserforce, it was pretty much 4 years in the making. But, 3 years in the making for us as a scene. And your luggage had a blast. Your luggage got to see more of everything than anyone else. Yeah, it was pretty good. What was your general vibe from the week? I mean, obviously you got rose tinted glasses.
Yeah, that does.
Oh,
oddly
Ducky.
enough, it tends to improve your overall outlook on the tournament and be like watching through finals or other games, stuff like that, and being like, yeah, we could have done this better, we could have done that better, but it's not like this dagger in your back, like, oh, if only we'd just done this or that. So yeah, at least from that perspective, it was a pretty damn good week, and I was very, very happy with the result, and I was very happy with the trip that we took after. It was truly like one of the best trips I've ever taken, and I owe that to you, buddy. So that was great. I know that not everything was perfect, and we'll get into that, but it was still like a super enjoyable experience.
I would highly recommend for anyone that's organizing a Nats trip, or sorry, if you are looking at playing Nats, somebody should step up and organize, or a couple of people should step up and organize a trip for afterwards, because it is really amazing to kind of go out and do some planned activities as a community. It really helps to build some strong friendships and some strong foundations with people who you share this common interest with. So highly recommend it. It was great. Really, really great. It was almost as sick as Steve on finals day. Yeah.
Yep.
So I'd appreciate to go play Zone instead. We should get you on actually. If you're keen, Taipan, we could have you on about that. It'd be weird to talk about Zone Zone competition on here, especially because the whole time I'll just be probably shitting on it, but you know,
Well, it's okay. You can just return the favor to the zone players in chat from Twitch.
yeah, was there a few?
Yeah, at least on one of I forget what day it was, but I really didn't know any of the chat antics that were going on until I went back and was like watching some of the videos.
Ooh.
And oh my god, like the stuff with some of the zone players coming in and like either talking shit about Laserforce or hyping up Taipan or shitting on Taipan or whatever they want to do. Then we had the Basilbot invasion. We had all of Trips' fucking nonsense. There was just the trolling of Fan. There was so many hilarious moments in chat that I just would never have known about if I hadn't gone through and watched stuff. Because I never get on the stream during the week.
Yeah, I had every intention of being of. It's such a weird thing when you do tournament coordination, which, I mean, to be fair, look, I gave most of the hard jobs to other people. That's what a good coordinator does. They delegate.
They delegate.
They delegate. You did all the scheduling. Thank you so much for doing all that. Massive. I feel
like it worked out.
Massive shout out to Jellotown. Because Kelly basically helped the day-to-day operations, and by helped I mean basically ran shit for us, and it was a massive help. So thank you so much, Kelly, because that was awesome.
Huge. That probably, like, honestly, no exaggeration, probably bought us an hour a day.
Yeah.
Just having somebody like get people moving in and out, because otherwise it's like, okay, if it's 5 more minutes after every game and you have, you know, X number of games to get through in a day, yeah, you could be there for another hour and a half.
Yeah.
You didn't need to be if people just were on their shit.
So having a couple of like having a person in the armory, you know, delegate out the ref positions, I think that's something that should get implemented at all Nats tournaments, and somebody there to you know, tell people which block is next or which game is next or whatever. Somebody who has a good overview of the schedule at a micro level, like that's something that needs to happen. Yeah, it's really helpful, especially like because if it's somebody who isn't playing, then it's so hard to step out of a game and put on your tournament's coordinator hat or your captain hat, or you know, and take off angry guy next door hat. Like it's a tough job. But yeah, so I'll tell you what. You know what's a scary thing now that I remember it? So I came out of a game and Night Owl was very angry at something, and it's the first time I've had Night Owl in my face raging.
Ooh.
And it was fucking terrifying.
That does seem terrifying.
No, I was like, I've got to wait till the right break in his in what he's saying so I could crack a joke and diffuse all of it, but but it took a while. But yeah, that stuff's really important. Anyway, yeah, I'd intended on being in front of the camera or in the commentary box like way more than what ended up happening. Just, you know, due to having to do other stuff. So you
got to talk to your team. You want to socialize. You want to be with the people who are there.
Yeah,
you can't be like in all places at once.
Yeah, it's
There's only time for a Jan Michael Vincent to be in one quadrant. You can't be in more than one quadrant at once.
Solid reference. Yeah, okay, let's talk about the tournament itself, shall we? So
sure.
You've got stuff in front of you. You want to read out some stuff?
Yeah. Well, you already touched on some of them, but I wanted to get some thank yous up front. And a lot of these I said at the awards dinner, but I know not everybody's at the awards dinner. I have a public record of it. So big thank you, obviously, to Laserforce Auckland, to Ruan and Andre for hosting us, agreeing to open up your Laserforce home to a bunch of strange, exotic foreigners who are just running around doing weird things in the building. So really appreciate that. It could not happen without the support of owners and operators. Thank you guys. So
they were awesome as well. Their hospitality was killer.
Oh, so great.
Yeah, it would be a different tournament scene if every owner was like them. I think.
Well, like so many days I would come by when we're just doing socials or whatever, And Rowan was like literally running the entire facility like by himself. He was taking money, he was starting games, he was explaining games, he was managing party stuff. I'm like, I would need a staff of like 8 people just to do this thing, and he's literally doing everything.
Yeah, they're pretty switched on. They've actually some of you know what the heck is that thing? Oh, that's
Oh, the red.
oh, we're back. We're back with some weird shit. They they have opened up their site to Lucy. Lucy has obviously stayed on for a couple of months here in New Zealand before she makes her way over to Brisbane. But Lucy is an artist. Obviously, you guys know Lucy's done a bunch of the emotes for our channel, but is currently repainting a bunch of the maze. And the work that I've seen so far is really, really cool. So, and still painting,
Nice.
obviously.
I thought you were gonna say they let her rent out the tower to stay in Auckland for 2 months.
Well, I did say, hey, you should hit them up and see if you can like trade artwork for board. You would, yeah. Just go stay with him.
Get a cot and hang out in the nest.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I wanted to all week.
Yeah, or like Ruan almost had to when the place flooded.
Exactly. We know it's comfortable.
Yeah.
You
Wow.
can overnight there easy.
Yeah, simples. So it's it looks incredible. It's gonna look incredible when they're done. So shout out to you, Lucy. Sorry, I took over. Like, please continue with your thank yous.
No, it's good. I mean, big thanks to you, my friend, for organizing the stuff, for running the stream, and seriously for like planning those extra excursions, and just being like a really good host. Like it meant a lot to me for you to just pick me up at the airport when I came in and serve me some delicious beef tallow fries. I can't go back to regular fries now.
So
Like it was really nice to have like people who are kind of looking after the hapless American who doesn't know which direction to look in the street.
well, you're welcome. I think I watched part of the recap, and day 2 we did we put on a pulled pork for everyone, and and Morange had said in the recap, like, you know, that's Steve's love language, and he's right. Like, I really enjoy hosting. I really enjoy like sharing the things that I love with people, and hopefully they love it too. Usually it's food. usually it's food.
Who doesn't love food? I mean, come on.
Oh, clearly. The doctor told me I love it too much this week, so yeah. But you're welcome. You're welcome. And universal, you're welcome to everyone who came and said nice words to me. I appreciate the nice words.
Yeah, I'm definitely my love language is also more the acts of service type thing. I am not always great with my words, especially like face to face expression of my emotions, but I'm trying, and I want to let you know, like, I really appreciated everything that you did for me and for the community as a whole during the trip. It made it really nice. We said thank you to Kelly already, but like seriously, big thanks to her for just like herding the cats every day because we needed that. Big thanks to Morange for doing all the commentary on so many of the games, especially in finals. Yeah, like he was doing commentary on I think most of the games that he didn't play in finals, and it makes it so much more fun to go and rewatch. Like seriously, I don't think I watched it until the day after I went back and watched the Twitch stream for like our last couple of matches, and having like Morange call the last one made it so cool.
I haven't watched that yet. I'm really keen to watch them though. It's so funny. He was like, oh, should I go and ref? And I was like, no. You've got one job during finals.
Yeah. your service will be better used elsewhere.
Yeah. And I'm sure he was like, damn it. Yeah. Thank you, bro. You killed it again. And it wasn't just the people from our scene that noticed. It was the people who have come in to watch from outside of Laserforce.
People who are not Laserforce experts. Like I know Cayman and Erwin's mom and grandma who were along for the ride were basically saying like, oh yeah, we understood a lot more of what was going on because of Scott's commentary. And so, oh, okay, so that's what they're doing. That's what's going on in the game. Because when you're just reading the Matrix, it's hard.
Yeah, it's so huge, dude. Like, so well done again. Well done on killing it. I think that's. I mean, yeah, that's probably your job.
Thanks to Russ for maintaining the stat site and for you know building stuff for all the tournaments. I don't know how or why you continue to do it, because it would absolutely fucking kill me to be making web pages for tournaments that I couldn't go to. So, like, thanks for maintaining all of that shit, and thanks to Beans for getting stats entered every day, because I think he was really the main person doing that, and
Yeah.
it just made it a lot easier to check for stuff.
What's up,
Thank you to Al for very selflessly being the head ref on the final day, and like along with Kelly keeping things moving and getting refs in the proper positions at the right time, and also for getting in Steve's face and yelling at him apparently,
Fucking
because
made me
angry Al
shit my
sounds
pants.
I for sure would.
Yeah, it's fucking terrifying.
Shout out to Glader for being the extra driver that we needed on the day that we went to Hobbiton, because Steve was a bit munted,
Oh, that
as
was
they
so
say.
fucked.
So it was. Thank you, Andrew, for stepping up and making sure that we'd still had Steve's car, because we literally, I think, took every available car seat. And me and Al, the two laser dads who were trying to help out like all of the children on the trip, and I'm hearing things from some of them like, I'm sure somebody would have room in their car. And I'm like pulling my hair and I'm like, you have to have a plan,
Yeah.
stupid young people. So we're like scrounging up seats, and you're like, oh, guys, I'm all fucked up on painkillers. I can't drive, stuff like that. We're like, fuck, what are we going to do? Oh my God. And then Andrew's like, I could drive. Like,
Yeah.
Yes, that's perfect. Thank you.
Now, clearly, I wasn't going to let him drive my car, so he drove the rental, and Troy drove mine. So thank you, Troy, for driving my car. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks to both of you for just helping us through that situation.
Yeah.
Despite your very advanced age, Troy, you managed to drive Steve's car brilliantly.
Yeah, it was great. We had a good trip. I've done that trip with Troy in the car before, and thoroughly enjoyed it that time too. So, yeah, he's a good road trip companion, is Troy Yoda. Bloody great.
He's a good dude. He's a good hang, as they say.
Yeah. He's a good hang. Good. Go have a hoom with him.
Yeah. So thanks to you for your video stuff, and to Luke for making his video recap. And I'm sure there's probably more video recaps that are come. Lucy, I thoroughly enjoyed your podcast with GND. Now that we're getting some crossover content.
Oh yeah, good point. That's the other one I meant to shout out. So shit, I was supposed to grab the link. Let me grab the link.
It'll appear in chat. But it was cool of you to do that, Lucy, and I'm keen to listen to more of your episodes, assuming that some of them are going to be in English, because my Czech is still not even rudimentary at best.
Oh, you've got a rusty
Czech. You taught me all of
Czech.
about 4 words, and that's all I'm going to remember.
If you haven't already, go follow Lucy's YouTube channel. Lucy started doing a podcast. Granted, most of it / all of it is in Czech, but you know, I'm sure there will be more English episodes available. If you want to go hear me take over her podcast, go check out the episode I did with her.
I thought you were a very respectful guest.
Yeah, I try not to talk over people. It was good. It was fun. We hung out here and did a pod, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah. And because he's here to appreciate it, I'd like to thank Than for moderating chat during the tournament when everybody was trolling him. So I'm glad you're here to receive your thanks, Than.
I'd like
Good on you,
to add on to that. Thank you to all the mods in chat.
Yes.
Because
I couldn't remember who all of them were.
Yeah.
But thank you all.
We deputized Tucker mid day or it was like day 2, I think. It was such a shame. It was such a shame. You want to do one more with me before you're gone? On the pod? I don't have anything else to say. I already said everything. Yeah, that's cool. We'll go play Laserforce again.
No, it's her other podcast she's starting for disc golf. So obviously, you have plenty to say on that.
Yeah. I mean, we've managed to convert a few people, I think, after this trip. There's a bunch of people getting into a bit of disc golf. It's great.
Everybody loves Dick Gold.
Auckland Nats 2028. I mean, that's a long way away. I'd love to make it that long. But yeah, we'll see. Also, Bane, I got an update from our conversation that we had the other day, just quietly. So, yeah. Where are the Dick Gold picks? Oh, Stu. So I played.
Ooh, hey, this is a family show.
I played. We played disc golf. Me and my cousins play disc golf. We do a couple of disc golf tournaments during the year. And I've just designed up a shirt that has like a bunch. It looks really cool, but I'm like, man, we should like reach out and get sponsorship and shit. So that's my task for this week, is to try and get booze sponsorship for our disc golf tournaments.
If it will help, I can get the compression singlet that I won Nats in out of the closet, and we can auction that off for at least like $2,000 or $3,000, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
who doesn't want a collector's item like that?
Exactly right. Somebody's gonna want it.
Hasn't even been washed.
Oh, I forgot to turn on and mix it up. Sorry, bro. Those aren't the.
Too bad.
Yeah, I'll redeem. I'll give you those points back. Forgot to do that part.
Of course, it's unwashed, Morange. It stinks real bad.
Yeah, stinks of victory. I'm never gonna wash this hand again. Europe 2025 will be perfect. Zone Nets is at Sunny Coast. Sunny Coast of Savings easy. We talked about obviously during the week and stuff. I think the idea is that I think most of the Australasians / Americans would be keen to head to Europe to do a tournament, but doing it and having the funds to do it obviously are two different things. Not all of us are Marcus.
Yeah, true.
Who apparently has got some sort
There's
of...
one person I didn't feel bad billing $5 from when the place wouldn't take my card. Like, Marcus is rich. He'll give me money.
I've got no more money. I spend it all on air travel, so I can't. Actually,
yeah, well, and like not to put the added burden on them, but it would be good. Hopefully, it might work out for next year Nats, wherever it is in the U.S. If we could get like a full European team to come over, or even like a full German team, a full Czech team, something like that, to come over, experience the tournament, experience the rules, because Lucy's had that experience now and she can talk to all of them about it. But obviously she's going to be in Australasia for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
So that'll be different. But if we get a contingent of them out to the US, I think that would probably speed up the timeline for getting an international tournament in Europe that Americans and Australasians would go to.
Yeah. They want to come here. I mean, I could go for another Brisbane Nats, I guess, for a change. Real quick, whilst I remember it, one more thanks I'd like to give is thank you to everyone who bought some merch. Really appreciated the amount you guys got on behind getting the shirts, getting the hoodies.
Oh, I love that hoodie. I love it so much.
I got 2 of them. If you didn't end up paying me for stuff, could you please pay me? I think I got money from pretty much everyone, but
yeah, you will, and he's shilling. He ain't giving it away.
Yeah, get that money. That's not a celebratory comment. That's a demand. Get that money.
It's literally not very cash money of you.
Yeah. And drink bottles. So we did the run of drink bottles. I only got 10 of them made. Unfortunately, Stu lost him. You almost stole your wrist though. Nah, I got Troy to reimburse you for that, bro. Chinatown. We were just, I don't know if you heard, Callie, but we were singing your praises earlier.
Singing.
Thank you so much for everything you did for the week. It was real helpful. You want more merch in the form of wristbands? So we need a Reebok girl. I gotta send you out 20 fucking wax. I want to get another run of wristbands done because a lot of people loved them. I didn't expect them to love them. I thought about doing another run of the drink bottles / canteens, whatever you want to call them, because I only got 10 of them made and they all sold immediately. In fact, they sold too well, and I ended up selling Stallions one to somebody else even after he paid me for it. So, classic.
Hey, that's the penalty he has to pay for getting everybody sick.
Yeah, so somehow, Stallion, I don't know how it happened, but somehow you've taken the blame for getting everyone sick, and not me.
We can still blame you for spreading it around. I don't care if you're Agent Zero, but I know it was one of you Kiwis. You can't resist using using biological warfare.
The pricing stuff, Evil, I probably need to work it out because the biggest cost now is going to be shipping. Shipping is a real son of a bitch.
And just be careful if you're taking your thermos through airport security. That's not in your bag, or they will think you're a terrorist. Apparently.
Did you get flagged? Who was it that got
No,
flagged?
it was Al.
Al got flagged.
Because Al sent us all the warning afterward. It's like just a heads up. Let me tell you what happened. When I went through security.
Yeah. This is a shame. Unfortunately, Stu lost his. You got flagged twice. Ow! Oh yeah. Now we good. We good. Sorry.
Yeah, real gut busting laugh, quite literally.
I've been going through some stuff. I was back in hospital again after I had a very quick. I went into hospital the week after we got back from traveling around because I had surgery booked, and I had to go back in again this week, and yeah, I've been suffering from some residual pain, which is a real pain in the ass, pain in my chest, not my ass.
You mean getting sliced open and like having people crack into your internal organs might make you a little sore afterwards?
Yeah, but there's I don't know, there's a pain right here that's just been fucking with me. So it only happens now. It was real bad, but it's much better than it was. It only happens now when I chortle and or like burp too hard or whatever. But anyway, I'll look to do some more. I'll look to do some more merch for you guys that want it. I would very much like to continue doing merch like for tournaments later on down the track. So, but I mean, obviously, like if it's easier to do stuff in the local, I know obviously there's the Sacramento shirt shop and they do a good job and stuff. So,
although it is now under management that is not run by any Lasers people.
Oh, really?
I don't think.
Oh, fuck them.
I think they finally sold. I think Disco and Autumn finally sold it.
Right.
But I'll wait for some official confirmation on that.
But I mean, I think the shirts turned out way better than I could have ever hoped.
Oh, they're so good.
They're so good. And
my team shirt, which I'll wear on another occasion.
You guys look great. You guys looked awesome. So that sort of stuff is easy for me to do. But the only kicker is that usually shipping is a bitch. So, but I'll work out some costs to send stuff to a central location, and then if it's easy for people to go pick their merch up from a site, that's probably the easiest way to do. All the few Marcus bought as much as everyone else did combined. So thank you, Marcus.
See, totally just throwing money around.
Yeah, just throwing that money around. All right, that's enough of that.
I do wish I'd gotten like Al's version of like a sleeveless version of this shirt because that looks super sick.
Yeah, the sleeveless tee was cool.
Too.
I think Ducky got a long sleeve. Somebody got a long sleeve.
Yeah, I think that was Ducky. I think he got a long sleeve.
That looked really cool.
Pretty dope too.
So yeah,
and then Hoodie had the singlet, I think.
Yeah, I got a singlet as well,
which looked cool. But I like just the sleeveless version because you get more of the pattern on it.
Yeah, cool. And the pattern was cool, so it turned out bloody awesome. Yeah. Anyway,
so I'm probably forgetting people to thank, and I apologize. I tried to do it either at the awards dinner or here, but I may forget things. Should we talk about like what actually happened at the tournament for maybe people who weren't there?
One last thing, thank you to everyone who came. All you guys, without a community, without you guys wanting to come, we can't play Lasers. We can't play with you guys. So thank you for everyone who made the effort to come down. And it's been a long 3 years of plans to. Oh, dude, you're 100% right, Ben. Thank you so much for all the work that you did during the week. We had for the first time, we had an in-house physiotherapist, which actually, came in real handy. Obviously it's nice to get sports massaged, but we had a couple of pretty serious incidents that happened during the tournament that we may have been worse off, or players may have been much worse off without you being there. So yeah, dude, thank you, appreciate it. Yeah. All right.
I didn't even get any injuries to take advantage of the services. I really missed out.
No, I'm not gonna make that joke. Let's move on. Yeah, you should have charged more.
should we talk about the order of finishing for teams and
Let's do
whatnot,
that.
and do a little post-mortem on each of the teams?
Let's definitely do that. I'll let you head off.
So coming in sixth place, because unfortunately somebody's got to get sixth place, was Oakley-ish. I mean, technically like tied for fifth, or like Auckland B and Oakley, since they got knocked out at the same stage. But Auckland B had more points in the rounds, so I guess they get the benefit of being fifth or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm super stoked that Oakley-ish got some points on the last day, and that they won a game and they won by elimination. And I was like so happy for them. Obviously, I was looking forward to my own chance to win, but I was so happy for them in the moment. I'm like, it's so good that you guys got that, because they deserved it.
Yeah, there was mixed emotions for me, because obviously, the team they beat was the other Auckland team, and it's always tough to root against the other home site.
They won plenty of other games.
But I mean, I've known Oakley for longer, so yay, Oakley. No, it was.
They got the other 5 games. Don't worry about them.
They're fine. I'm sure they're fine. It was one of the best endings to a tournament, I think. Because was that the last game or second to last or something? Or
it was the last game
final...
that they played. I know it was in the very last block.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good. Yeah, it was awesome to be in there, and everyone lost their freaking shit like out in the foyer, and so good. Keep getting better. One more day, we would have taken first. I don't doubt it.
That's why we had to finish the tournament that day. We were worried that you guys were coming for us.
Yeah, exactly. We're like, no. We've already poisoned Steve. We don't have enough left for everyone else. Yeah, it was great. Well done. 5th place.
5th place was Auckland B, the team that they beat in the last game. But I thought Auckland B definitely put up some impressive performances, and like in particular, Know It All was a very deserving Rookie of the Year, because he was just crushing it in some games. Maybe it's the physio background, but he's just like so fucking smooth coming around those corners, and just like ducking and leaning the way that he does, and just is like so fluid moving around through there. And
it never dissipated during the week. Like for all week long, and every single game you played, run into attack, run back out again, run into attack, run back out again, and like always moving, which is great. It made me very proud. Specifically him and Mr. Doom made me very proud. The way that they performed during the week, because I felt that they played almost as good as they possibly could all week. It was great. Helps when you a young body. Exactly right.
and I'm proud of the Americans who were on that team too. Disco Stu and Manette, that you were definitely valuable pickups for them, because I think that you gave them some interesting insights, especially into maybe the way that some of the other American players played, that I think kind of helped elevate some of Auckland B's game. And I know that you guys didn't play a ton of like defending near blue base before the tournament week, but definitely by the end of the week, like I was watching Doom move around in there, and he was getting that down too, so that was cool.
It was interesting, and we'll talk about that maybe after this, but it was really interesting to see the different ways that teams approached our maze. Completely different to how I thought it was going to work out.
It was that was like a really exciting part of the tournament for me.
Yeah. And not even just like, like the game plans would change every game depending on who you were playing against. We talked about it, I think, like day 2, day 3. We were like, all right, so the West, they like to do this, East like to do this, Brisbane play it this way. Yeah, it was trippy. But anyway, we'll get into it.
And what I like. I mean, I was going to mention this at a later part of the pod anyway, but like I really, really loved your guys' field. Like even the first night or two that I was playing, I'm like, this is a good field to play, because there's things you can do. It reminded me in some ways of like St. George, because there's not like one fixed thing that teams do off break. Like I love the Brisbane field, but it tends to be like, okay, green team's going to go to back tower, red team's going to get a new tower. That's where they'll start, and then stuff,
try and
combat
take
will
over.
happen in the middle.
Yeah.
But it's like in St. George and Auckland, you have options to what you do and be like, well, do we want to take upstairs or do we want to take like disco or blue base? Because downstairs is just as viable as upstairs. And okay, if we want to go upstairs, what ramp do we want to go up? Do we want to go up this ramp? Do we want to cut through the middle? Do we want to go up this other ramp? Well, we know this other team is going to do this, so maybe we'll do this instead. So all those like little things and little adjustments of like, well, but you could do one of like 3 or 4 things at the start of the game, and based on what the other team does, then you can do one of like 5 other things. So there's like 20 different ways the opening of a game can go instead of like probably only 1 or 2. That's what I really enjoy about it.
It's I had a feeling that for those who hadn't played our maze before, you guys would really enjoy it. I was really interested to see how US players like would play our maze over the course of a week. When you say that, you know, like when you put it that way, when it's at the start of the game anything could happen. That's not, and maybe it's because we get into the routines of what we kind of know works for us in our arena. We never thought about our maze like that. Our maze is always, you have to get upstairs, and if you don't get upstairs, you have to get disco. And it didn't play out that way during the week. Like, a lot of teams were like, oh, you can have upstairs. We're going to go hold a blue. And we were just, you know, I think on day 1, we were like, oh, that's crazy.
Why'd you do that, you fools?
But like for us,
why are they winning games?
For us, we were like, well, we know how to defend that stuff. So Jar Jar changed disco in a massive way. I don't think it changed it for the better either. It's made our maze a little less good. And I kind of hope that we can move Jar Jar Binks because I hate it.
Well, either that or you guys need to like install like a curtain rod over it and just get like blackout curtains to go over it when you play Space Marine. So you can just like put the curtains on for members night and then you can just remove the curtains for Gen Pub stuff. But I feel like that would help. But even I think that, you know, half meter of space that you lose in that corner, I could see that being kind of crucial because it makes that area a lot more cramped, even if you discount the reflex shot.
It's certainly taken a chunk out of that area, which was all pretty utilized for Space Marines. We actually played Members Night the week after we got back, and it was really fun, but it was just too hard to put, you know, a good covering up. So we were just like, fuck it, Jar Jar Binks is now in play. And going forward, I'd rather not have that as the case, but it so far is looking like it will be. And I mean, you know, it could just be a matter of you get used to that reflex shot, and it is what it is. But I don't know, it takes a little bit of not the skill, because it's still a skill to use that as a reflect, but it changes things completely.
Yeah, but the thing with reflex shots is like, yes, it's a skill to know how to use it, but it's mostly a skill of knowing the arena and knowing the angles.
That's right.
Which is just,
it's not the same thing.
A home site advantage. Yeah, it's not the same as learning some new trick about a field, because that was the other thing I was going to say, was that with the exception of the Jar Jar wall, like I kept hearing about, oh, well, there's this reflection shot, and there's this reflection shot, and this reflection shot. And I was like, man, I fucking hate a bunch of reflection shots where it's like I have to learn this over the week and I can't stand in some area, even though it looks like it's safe. But honestly, they really weren't that bad. Like, I didn't feel like there were a ton of them, and a couple of them were super obvious because like there's a metal grate you can see. Yeah, you can see lights reflected off that. That kind of stuff doesn't bother me. It's like when you have a black wall, it's like, oh yeah, everybody knows you can bounce shots off of that wall. I'm like, that's fucking garbage. It's a black wall. You shouldn't be able to bounce shots off of that.
Yeah. Red ramp is one of the worst. I felt people didn't really utilize that too much because people actually didn't hold the middle of upstairs as much as I thought they were.
No, not that much.
Most people, it was crazy to see how many games started out in a ship fight upstairs for the start of the week. And then I think you guys might have been the first to change your game plan around that. Like, well, you know, why would we go upstairs and try and battle it out when we can just as easy go downstairs and hold down there?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't even a matter of holding. It was just like, well, obviously you guys are still okay attacking upstairs because we're still like getting medic lives off and we're still getting them down. It's like, if we don't need to hold that and you guys can still attack it, then fine. Let's not put ourselves in a situation where we might take it, but also I might lose 8 lives in the first 90 seconds of the game.
Yeah. I think for our reflex, they're not game changers like say Chula Vista's dumb side mirrors are. Like those are
Mm.
tough. They're little, the little cutouts in the Detroit maze. Those aren't reflections, but they are tough maze specific things.
Yeah, you need, like it was the third Nats that I played at Detroit was 2019, and I felt like I was finally getting a handle on some of those windows,
Yeah.
like in between the central tower and that back corner.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, now I kind of know how to use these. But it was the third Nats I had to
Yeah.
play there before I like started figuring that shit out.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like you say, it's not like, there's not that many of them. There's like two of which are like kind of reflective surfaces that you can, like, one's a mirror and the other one was that perspex down in CBN, which never came into play anyway.
That didn't really happen a bunch either.
Nah, because that's not an area like a high
C-bend
traffic.
Or C-section, as I prefer, people start calling it, and Morange got so grossed out.
So funny.
And he just yells, "Can we please stop calling it that?"
Yeah, so it wasn't a biggie, which is nice. I felt that the changes that we've made to our maze have made our maze very even. So you could send two teams in there, and it's it's even without having to be like what's that called? And the thing's the same as on the other side. What's it called?
Symmetrical?
That's the one. Symmetrical. Stupid drugs. Yeah, if you had a symmetrical maze where you've got two specific like resupply points that are exactly the same, it's not that. It is even without having to be exactly the same for both teams, which is kind of nice. Yeah. I think that's maybe a little better. But anyway.
Yeah, and it was funny too because we kept feeling throughout the early part of the week that, oh yeah, like green is our stronger side. We do much better from green. But going back and watching some of the games, I'm like, the data actually doesn't really bear that out. We might have actually been better from red.
We found that I think that red is usually stronger because you have more of an opportunity to take upstairs. Green's harder to get upstairs effectively.
Green I think has more options that are available to them at the opening of the game. Like red is, well, we're probably going to do this. It's just a matter of where are we going to send like our attackers, but our resupply and the heavy are probably going to go up the middle ramp and try to hold there. But it's like there's still a bunch of variations on it. Like, okay, well, how are we going to cover long ramp? How are we going to cover this other ramp? What if somebody comes up the back? So you have to account for those things.
Yeah.
So that's it's cool though. I like it.
I would very much like to keep talking about the maze idiosyncrasies, but maybe we'll do that as like a whole nother pod because I feel like recap is probably going to be like a 3 or 4 part process. So. Yeah. Oh, we're gonna milk Nats for all of its juicy content.
We'll try to get at least like 3 months of content, so that way we can then start talking about the next tournament where that's right. Going to be. And it'll be smooth.
It'll be a Laserforce Internationals C-section, if you will.
God damn it, Steve.
Ow. Right. Who do we get up to? We got up to 4th.
Yeah, so we're up to 4th, which is US East.
Yes.
And I know that they were disappointed to finish in 4th, but the reality was with the top 4 teams that we had, somebody's feelings were going to get hurt
100%.
in 4th place.
Yeah.
Like no matter which of those teams came in 4th, every one of them is going to be like, we could have
we should have placed. Yeah.
Like we should have placed 3rd or 2nd or whatever. So somebody was going to end up with hurt feelings, and I'm sorry it had to be US East, but that positioning I don't think is indicative that they were, ranks and ranks below the top 3 teams, because I think those top 4 teams were really, really good teams. And I thought they played a great week, and they actually were ahead of you guys on the table for round play. So we actually had 2 upsets going into finals of teams like leapfrogging in the order from where they placed in round play. So that was cool. And I mean, they had a hard task in front of them, trying to mesh together players from 3 different sites who didn't have the same history together that my team did.
Yeah.
Where we had a lot more opportunities to gel as a team even before the tournament started, and they didn't have that same opportunity. So I know that I think hindered them a bit. If they'd had the same level of practice together that we had, probably a different story.
Yeah.
At least maybe a different story. I think they could have definitely done better.
Ducky, that was really funny. We talked about it in one of the recap pods, but basically, their resupply were upstairs, and they were like, "Can we get a 3-hit up here?" And Ducky was down the bottom of a long ramp, and he turns to me. I'm the referee in the game. He turns to me, and he's like, "Okay," and then he bolts up the ramp, and just it was so good. Scott was at the top of the ramp, and he lost his shit as well. It was so funny.
And when Ducky gives you that shit-eating grin in the middle of the game, there's nothing like it.
Warms my heart.
There's nothing like
see
it.
that man smile. Yeah, they, like you said, I think that's the difference, right? The difference is that whilst, like you guys, they were, I wouldn't say cobbled together, and they were all very good players on that team. They just didn't get an opportunity like you guys did to put a little bit of practice in, because I don't think they knew they were gonna be a team until like March.
Yeah, something like that, probably.
Like that. Yeah,
March or April.
You guys basically knew last year or the year before or something. Like, you guys have known for a while.
We started talking about it more seriously about the start of the year, and we got it kind of confirmed before we took that trip out to Loveland, and we said, okay, this is the team that we're going to try to put together. And Eves wasn't able to make that trip, but we still practiced with 5 out of 6 of us, and then obviously we had the duos event, and then we went to the Cedar Death Trap, and had some opportunities to practice.
Yeah. You think Loveland guys were a latest additions? They were. That team. It was, I think, March when they sort of were like, "Hey, this is the team." We're like, "Oh,
yeah." Because
awesome.
I had talked to Josiah like for months and been like, "Hey, are you making the trip? Like, I think it would be real great." He was like, "Oh, I'm broke. There's no way I'm gonna make it." Then all of a sudden, I heard Josiah was going. I'm like, "Yeah, that's good,
dude." I was stoked when I found out, and
yeah,
it was so nice to see everyone. Oh my god, Cedar's a work in
but
progress.
That team definitely gave us a few scares. And I was like, in some ways, in retrospect, I'm kind of glad that they really took it to us like the first game of the tournament.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's always a danger when you come into a tournament and you're like, we're here to win. We need to dominate people. It's like, if you start out winning, you can get overconfident. But basically every time that we started building up our confidence in this tournament, we got punched in the mouth like real hard. I was like, okay, well, no more fucking around. Like we actually have to play serious and like get our mindset right.
Well, speaking of like motivation, so I'm gonna jump ahead. My team came 3rd, Auckland A.
Yep.
We got a little bit of, well, I personally had a little bit of bulletin board material because you made a comment, I think the morning of finals of the Friday, you made a comment of the US teams last night got together and we talked about how we are going to beat the Brisbane team. And to me, in my mind, I was like, fuck you guys. Like, how dare you not put a game plan together for Auckland? And so we came out and I was like, I went Super Saiyan Steve.
Like, we're not losing to these fuckers now.
I'm dying, but fuck these guys.
It's so funny because I've seen it a couple of times, like the Michael Jordan meme from The Last Dance, where he's like I took that personally.
Yeah.
I feel like that. I was like, it became personal with me.
Honestly, that's exactly how I felt about it.
They're a great team. Okay, I'm gonna show you they're not.
Yeah. That's exactly how I felt about it. I was real pissed off about it, and it was more, and it's not actually anything that happened. I don't even know if that was even what happened, or if we even came up in conversation, or if this conversation even happened. But I was just like, I heard it, and I took it as like a massive like fuck you guys, and so I was like, nah. There was a whole country meeting.
Use that fuel though.
Oh yeah.
Get pissed.
I needed it.
I mean, we use that as fuel too, because I'm just like, after we lost that first game to Brisbane in finals, I'm just like, everybody's gonna think that Brisbane has this now. Like, let's show them that they don't.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing because I mean you can because I was thinking that's the sort of shit that Michael Jordan would do. He'd fucking lose his mind, and so maybe that's how I need to approach this. And I mean, it just so happened that I'd approach it like that anyway. But
like, I'm not gonna recommend that anybody dials it up all the way to Michael Jordan because that's a little intense. But like you want a little bit of that fire.
There was a moment during the week. Something had happened in a game. I can't remember what it was. I think I got a penalty that ended up it kind of fucked us a little bit. And I came out and I was furious about it, and I was like screaming, but I went outside and I was yelling some crazy horse shit. Like at one point, like I referred to myself as like King Kong, and like and like I was like, this is my fucking house.
It was so good. You went fucking full Denzel Training Day.
Oh yeah, dude, I was so amped, dude. I think it was Al. I can't remember how it happened, but I basically I was like, I'm this is my house. I'm King Kong up in this bitch or something. And as the words are coming out, I couldn't stop him. But I was just like, you sound like an idiot. But I pushed that guy all the way down and just keep yelling crazy shit. That
was Guy Next Door. That wasn't Steve-O.
That was Guy Next Door. He's crazy. But I do have some massive regrets, and one of them was staying at the hotel. No. Getting sick. Getting sick meant that it changed a lot of my outcomes. I felt like I played pretty good against USA East, but I had no more to give after that game, and I really tried. I really did, but I was tapped.
Well, speaking of Michael Jordan, when he had the flu game, they didn't make him play another game immediately after that one. They at least gave him like a day off.
To be fair, I had 15 minutes to go roll around on the maze floor. I was just like, dude, I hate to say it, but maybe you shouldn't play. I'm like, I'm okay. Ow. I was pretty heartbroken that I couldn't give more for my team, because I felt that if I had been healthy and I felt like I was kind of hitting some good form as heavy, our lineup was really solid.
You were scary that game against US East. It's like, he's a fucking brick wall.
Yeah.
They cannot get past him.
I really wanted a proper crack at Brisbane, and I really wanted a proper crack at you guys. So it was a real shame. And also, just as a side note, Rusty, hopefully it's not gonna be the same as before, bro. I hope your shoulder's okay. Yeah, it was shitty that's how our tournament had to end. Because I wanted to be able to do more for my team, and I couldn't. But these things happen in sports. It's a shame, but
it is a shame.
But we placed.
You placed.
That was our first goal.
You handled business against the US East team.
Yeah.
And I agree that had you been healthy, results might have been different going into that semifinal. If you guys had even like a little bit more practice as a unit, things might have been different, because you might have figured out some of that stuff from like day 1 and 2 where you're trying out some different positions. You might have like gotten that out of the way earlier. So I feel like if you run this tournament 1,000 times and just to account for little, variations and stuff like that, like there are definitely versions of this multiverse where like you guys win the tournament or US East wins the tournament, because
I agree.
Sometimes things just turn those little dimes.
Or Brisbane win. But
yeah. Oh no, I'm gonna say the distribution is like, I still think that Brisbane and us win most of those, but there are some versions where I can see you guys winning for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I was
just, these little things have been different.
Proud of my guys, proud of myself, because you got to be proud of yourself. I mean, first and foremost, proud of myself for just some of the heavy play. But it was great. It was, third is okay. Second place.
If we had a Defensive Player of the Year trophy, I think you would have earned it.
I don't know. Well, that's essentially the All-Star heavy, which I didn't.
I mean, it could be.
That's the way I've always seen that trophy.
Rusty had a very well-earned All-Star heavy trophy.
I agree.
In my opinion, but I would not describe him as like, he's a very good defensive player, but I wouldn't think of him as like a defense first player. Yeah. Like at all. He played heavy very different, and it was good for his team, because he was a fucking menace.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it always
it was style.
Speaking of Rusty, second place. We had the Brisbane guys.
Yep.
I liked this team. I really liked this Brisbane team.
It was a good team.
It was a good team. They had speed, they had experience, they had Zenpan, whatever the fuck his name is. Yeah, it's a testament to, I guess, the quality of the players that came, that these guys came second, because this team in past years probably would have won. They could have won this tournament. But and that old guy Troy, yeah,
Ancient.
yeah, and also it's such a weird thing to play against a Brisbane team where Rusty is in the commander. It's such a
that was
foreign
a
concept.
real head trip.
Yeah,
that was a real head trip. I mean, he still played a fair number of commander games during the tournament week, but by finals they'd locked in the role with him at heavy and Taipan at commander, which we knew regardless of what they did, because I was like keeping an eye on their stats week to week, and saw that when they were doing some Nats practices, they ran a good number of games with Rusty Heavy and Taipan Commander, and I was talking about it with some of my teammates before the tournament. I'm like, you guys think this is real, or are they just like trying something different for whatever? And opinions were divided. It's like, I don't know. I'll believe Rusty's going to play something other than Commander when I see it.
Yeah.
And people have been like, well, if Rusty does Rusty things and he's a heavy who can take anybody down in one shot, that's pretty fucking scary too. And so we started talking about like, well, what would we rather go against? Because we knew that Rusty and Taipan were going to be 3 hits.
Yeah, of course.
Like, we weren't sure what the combo was going to be. We were just like, there's like no good version of that combo to play against. Like, that's going to be really hard no matter what happens. And that was honestly like part of our philosophy with the construction of the team, is we're like, look, probably the best that we can hope for is we want to try to match the output of Rusty and Taipan, which is going to be very, very hard. But like, we're not going to kid ourselves and be like, oh yeah, we just need to be better than them. We just need to be like 2 clicks above Rusty and Taipan, because what is that? Like, those players don't exist yet.
Yeah.
And we're like, so we're going to try to match their output, and we're going to try to have like our scouts be the difference makers in there. And I feel like that kind of bore out, and that's like not meant to be any shade to JFK and Basil, because I thought they were amazing scouts throughout the entire week. It just is honestly just a testament to the respect and admiration that I have for Snuffles and Thunder as scouts, and specifically as a scout tandem.
Yeah.
Because the first time that I saw it at that West Coast that we played together, it was fucking scary. I'm just like, they're like a Velociraptor pack. They just, know to go from different angles. They're always hitting you. You always have to like be turning to either side. And when you think you're about to shoot one, there's, one right next to your head.
Clever girl.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to actually give a very quick shout out to Basil, because he's a very exciting young talent coming through the ranks. He killed it all week. I really enjoy watching him play. He plays similar to like the King brothers in the way that he's so fast, sometimes dangerously so, but for the most part, so quick. And yeah, very quick on the draw. So it was pretty cool. I think once he gets a few more years of like competition play under his belt, I mean, they, in Brisbane, they turn granite into better granite, whatever the saying is. Okay, you're welcome. You can use that one.
That's a great saying.
Yeah, you should definitely use that in a lecture. Praise be my Lord and Savior Basil.
Bring back the Basil bots.
Dude, that shit was funny. But yeah, it's I love playing against Brisbane because they are always top tier. Always a top tier team.
And I think you and I are very similar in that, like, we really relish the competition of being able to play against the best in the game, because that's when you find out what you're really capable of, and that's where you learn how to elevate your game. And to be like, look, if this is where the bar is, we got to find a way to get there, because otherwise we're going to keep losing. And I know, not everybody approaches tournaments the same way, and some people are satisfied just to like go and play for a week and stuff like that. But when you really are into the competition and you want to win, you want to some of the highest levels, you have to want to play against the great players, and they are the great players.
That's
and,
why I feel like my personal Nats wins both have asterisks next to them, because for one of them they weren't there, and for the other one I was on Rusty's team. So
hey, that counts. I'd be more than happy to let Rusty carry me to a tournament victory.
But you're right. Like it's our. I guess it's in our kind of our makeup that we want to play and beat the best players, and for a long time Rusty has been the best. Rusty says, we trolled ourselves a little in that finals game by not doing what we did against Auckland, trying to get upstairs and just secure it. All we had to do was not get eliminated, and it would have been another match. Should have expected you guys to go hard for it. It was well played by you guys. And
thank you, Rusty.
I think like we'll talk. I'd love to do next week's podcast talking about this sort of stuff. Talking about, I think we'll do that next week. We're going to talk about kind of the strategies and stuff that were implemented by a team. Oh, I'm so glad we have.
No, we're just going to do a 7-hour pod tonight. Strap in, everybody.
We got so much stuff to talk about the next few weeks. I can't wait. But yeah, you want to truly beat the best team, specifically beat Rusty. That's kind of been the goal for a long time, is can we beat Rusty? And if that's just can we take a game from Rusty, then you feel like you achieve something. Let's talk about the team that beat Rusty. Or beat Rusty's team, sorry.
Yeah, well, right before we get to this, I did want to, I know we didn't get into chatting out Glader and Troy, but they were an amazingly good resupply combo.
Yep.
And I can't tell you, like, how many times, like in-game or watching the replays and stuff like that, that Troy would sit on like 1 or 2 lives for ages and just like fill up the entire team. I was like, this is why they're so hard to eliminate, is because you can't get Troy out.
Him. Yeah,
it's so hard.
Yeah,
they're so quick.
That's killer. But, so well done to those guys for coming in silver. Well done, good job.
Yeah. So on to my team.
On to your team.
Hey, spoiler alert, we won.
Good job.
It was so nice. Yay.
Good job. Dude, I this is another one of, and I'm going to talk about me before we talk about you.
Please do. Please do.
I was gutted that's one of the moments that I missed, was the way I heard you were after you came out of that last match, because it's going to happen again.
D-Cry's coming out. D-Cry and Cry Pam, the combo we didn't know we needed.
Duo. Melting hearts since way back when. But yeah, and honestly, I know exactly what that feels like. I know that feeling, that tingle, that like, that warmth, that like breathlessness, that, you know, all of that stuff that comes from winning a Nats. But
yeah,
you don't need to hear it from me. Let's talk to you about it.
Yeah. Well,
so
like,
recap it for me, because I missed it all.
Yeah, and that was like, it was sad for me too, because like that was one of the things after I won that I won. I was like, I wanted to give you a hug, and I wanted to give Al a hug, and people that I've like known for a long time, because it's like it's special to be able to share that with them. So I felt bad that you were, not just that you weren't there. I felt really bad that you were not in a good way that day, and I was like worried about you and shit. But that was a little bittersweet. But like, much love to my team. Seriously, I didn't feel like I did a ton, because I mostly just sat in a corner and gave you guys lives most of the week. But
so important.
If my experience and my strategy talks helped, that's all I can really ask for. I thought that you guys were super nice, because basically everybody on my team like came up to me afterward and they're just like, we needed you. Like, thank you for being a leader for us. And like, it wasn't something that I felt like I was actively seeking. Like, I basically volunteered to be captain for the team, because I'm like, I want you guys to focus on the task at hand and what you're supposed to be doing in game. And all I have to do is play resupply. So I'll deal with all the, you know, captain's bullshit that you have to do and stuff like that. But, you know, everybody was responding to me, and I felt like I didn't feel like I really had to lead, because we had a shared goal. We talked, we kept our cool. Everybody listened, and not just listening to one person, but listened to one another without letting egos get in the way. And like, in my opinion, that's what it takes to win. If you're going to go up against the team that's regarded as the best, like, you're you're not going to beat them just on talent alone. You have to be willing to like make sacrifices and make the team and the game bigger than just yourself.
Yeah.
So like I thank you so much to everybody on my team. You know, like I said, I don't feel like I did a ton, but it's a team effort. It takes all 6 players, and I was glad I could help where I could.
Well, everyone plays their role. And whilst, in some cases, like the resupply may feel, oh, well, we were just there. It's so important, especially like this is probably
there were definitely games where we had to work. I feel like I earned it a little bit.
Yeah. You have to be on point every game, because if the resupply aren't on point, if the resupply aren't where they're supposed to be, if the resupply aren't given resupplies exactly when they're needed, then nobody else can do their job. So like it's a role that is very anti laser tag, but it's a role it's a role that's just as important as everyone else. So if your ammo dies early, dude, I think that's one of the most frustrating things in a game of Space Marines.
It really is.
It's the worst.
And that was like on the list of like things that I was happy with for the week. I'm like, okay, nobody ever died before me in a game, so that's good. And I didn't miss any bases throughout the week. So I'm like, I feel like I did okay. If that's like your kind of goal as medic, is not to let those things happen.
Yeah. I tell you what, there was normally in a tournament, like I would say the player that I fear the most is Rusty. Usually, if Rusty's playing a tournament, every time Rusty is in the arena against you are heightened. You see him come around a corner and your eyes go wide because it's Rusty.
You sniff the predator.
You never, yeah. You never. It's not like a fear. It's just like everything becomes heightened or more. You just it feels different when he's there. This tournament it wasn't the case, and no disrespect to you, Rusty, because you're fucking the man. This tournament, Kodama was that person for me. Kodama, like,
very scary.
Yeah, like I felt that again after I had kind of found my rhythm. I didn't fear going up against anyone in the arena. I was like, I'm King Kong. I can take care of like everyone, except for Kodama. Kodama gave me shit all week whenever we played. And I was like, he's the one person that I feel that is maybe going to get me. And again, it's not necessarily the case. It's just how I felt about it. He's the one player that I was just like, he's going to best me. Every time he comes around that corner, he's going to get me, and I hate it. So yeah, it was definitely an interesting dynamic, especially because we've seen a lot of players grow in our scene, especially a lot of like the players on your team, with the exception of Eves.
Sure.
They're all pretty young, they're all very young, and we've seen them grow from pups into dogs, and
wolves, dire wolves.
Yeah. And Kodama's no exception. So, he put on his big boy tight pants, and he just did work. It's really great to see.
Kodama has always been like pretty much since late 2019 when I started like going up against him as a heavy. He very quickly became the heavy that I wanted to go up against the least of pretty much anybody in the US, with maybe the exception of Scythe, but even then it was pretty close.
Yeah.
And like that for me is always a good indicator for me of like, who do I think is really good, especially at certain positions? Like, who do I really hate to go against if I'm playing that same position as them and they're on the other team? That I'm just like, oh fuck, I don't want to have to play against that guy. Like it's really hard. And so it was like when we got Kodama on the team, we were willing to try some different things, but I'm just like, I think he's best used at heavy because he's so scary. He's super accurate. He's super quick, and he's quick without having to run everywhere.
Yeah, everything
is
precise.
Except the last game when I yelled at him to run because I was yelling at everybody on my team to run.
We should never have taken him on the team in Detroit. Yeah, but that's a whole different discussion. I get what you mean, though. Again, granite sharpens into better granite, as the old saying goes.
And I think you're sharpening the granite, too.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You're making a granite shiv.
You're making a granite shiv. Yeah.
Since I need to shout out everybody on the team individually, Caleb is on an absolute roll. Like
Fuck, I
whether
love
he
that
was the
guy.
player you feared the most or not, like he's definitely proven that he's among the best American players. And honestly, after the last year and a half, 2 years that he's had, I think he should probably be considered number one
Mm.
based on West Coast, the St. George random draw thing, the duos, and now this. Like he's won like 4 tournaments in a row, and he's been like the standout player.
Mm.
So like Caleb is, and I'm super proud of his development because like there were definitely Loveland players who I thought were good when I first went up against them in 2015. But sometimes it's like there's that one player that you pick, and like when I saw Caleb play, I'm like that's the dude to watch.
Yeah.
For sure. Like he's got a lot of talent if he can put it together, and he has,
He's
and
such
he
a
can still get better. Is the scary thing.
such a super nice dude too. He came and hung out
He is a good dude.
at mine for a little bit. And we spent like an extended period of time just talking, like me and him, and I fucking loved it. Really loved it. Yeah, it's great. It's great to see progression. Actually, like your whole team is full of GCs.
I think so. That's also one of the reasons that we put the team together. It was all dudes that I enjoy
GCs.
hanging out with and,
Yeah.
and wanted to play with.
Yeah.
Snuffles and Thunder, I know I kind of already like highlighted that I thought they were amazing scouts, but they were seriously the best scouts I could have asked for. Like we wanted our scouts to be the difference maker, and they really came through, especially in finals. Like that was so crucial. Just the pressure that they could apply to the enemy reset, the additional defense that Eves provided by getting 2 or 3 in the back and to rust your Taipan so many times. Like it was just so helpful to see them control space. And the Snuffles and Thunder together as scouts is scary on its own, but the Snuffles and Caleb attack between the two of them, that's like really scary as well, because they are probably the best commander scout team that I've seen in quite a while. Like honestly, it is reminiscent to me of like what Rusty and Jared used to be. Like it was just you couldn't do anything against them. And we considered some other lineups because of the Caleb between Snuffles and Slaughtermelon. We thought about maybe pairing them as 3 hits, but it's like it seems to work best when Caleb's commander, Snuffles a scout, and then you let Kodama do Kodama things as heavy and just kind of like pick up the pieces in the middle, because basically whatever the gap is in the game, Kodama will fill it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know what I need to do right now. So we count on our scouts to be the difference maker, and I feel like they were. Like Caleb and Kodama did their job. They matched the output of Rusty and Taipan, which was what we needed. And then Snuffles and Thunder like just had just that little bit of edge over some of the other scouts.
Yeah.
And then Aiden, my resupply partner, love you, Aiden, doing like seriously tons of dirty work that does not show up in the stat sheet. There were so many intangible things for like just eating shots and missiles for me, because there were definitely times like I could have gotten missiled, but Aiden was like, no, I'm not letting the meta get missiled. Like I'll eat this missile if I have to, but I'm not letting the meta get missiled.
Yeah.
So letting me, run first if we're going down a hallway, stuff that I had even struggled with before when I played ammo. And especially like that last game, becoming like the field tactician in the last game when we most needed it. Like it was really Aiden who kind of pulled people back from the wall, made the adjustment, told people where to stand, like made sure that people filled up on shots and lives. And that was like huge and crucial for us. And then he and Snuffles, ran in to break the wall when Caleb got that last nuke. So that was super important. And I know Aiden's kind of gutted he didn't get all-star ammo. I really wish they would have got all-star ammo too, because I thought that Aiden did a great job throughout the week. But I said there's no shame losing to Glader, because Glader's a great ammo as well. But just know I appreciate you, Aiden. I know you did a lot of things that don't necessarily show up on the MVP sheet that week.
Yeah, and I think, we had conversations during the week about like some players not being super stoked on the MVP system, but it's not the be all and end all. And I think there are some
it's
players,
useful.
It is useful. Yeah, for sure. You've never played a week where you lost so many games on points but only won because of an elimination. That was purely the difference in scout scores more often than not. Yeah, and it happened a bunch. It was really interesting to see the games kind of play out that way. I will forever lament not getting another crack at you guys. I would love to play that lineup again in our maze. You know, in a healthy body.
Buy us some tickets. We'll come down at Christmas.
Oh, I mean, you want to? We should do it. I'll sell a bunch of merch to help, pay for some. Although you guys will probably be buying the merch, so.
Marcus, sponsor us. Buy all of Steve's stuff.
But yeah, it was great to see. I'm looking for. I want to go through and actually watch the finals again. It's bittersweet for me because it's the same thing with re-watching the awards dinner, because I know Luke has recorded it, and I requested that somebody did. I'm in two minds about whether or not I want to watch it, because whilst I want to see the joy in everyone's face, I also feel extremely FOMO'd that I missed it all.
FOMO.
And
or it's not FOMO because you did miss out, so it's the Romo, the regret of missing out.
Yeah, the Romo. I want to get that Tony Romo. But yeah, massive congrats to you and your crew for pulling off, for achieving the goals that you guys had set out to achieve, years ago. Yeah, oh, dude, yeah, bro, 100%. I'd like to actually get you on if you're available over the next couple of weeks, bro. Because I'd like to get your perspective on a couple of things. But
yeah, I'd like to do that. But since you're in chat, like, thank you so much, Rusty, for playing against us, and you and Taipan both, like, having great sportsmanship afterward. It was one of the things I loved about the week is there wasn't a bunch of bitching after finals that was like these fucking cheating guys. It was like there were barely any penalties in either of our finals games. Everybody was like in good spirits. Everybody, shook hands once I collected myself and I was able to shake hands and stuff like that. But it meant a lot for you guys to lose gracefully in the way that you did, because I know that shit is hard.
Yeah,
that shit is hard.
It really
but
sucks.
That's sportsmanship, though.
Yeah. We had talked about it briefly before stream. There was a weird vibe at the start of the tournament. Maybe Tuesday. I think Tuesday during the day had a strange negative vibe surrounding everything, and I thought, oh man, here we go again. Like this is gonna be like triple threat. I hope it's not. But maybe we just aren't supposed to host tournaments here, and we managed to right that ship, and I felt that the vibe on Wednesday, and then definitely Thursday, and then Friday again, like I kind of missed it, but it seemed to be in high spirits, and you can kind of tell, because whenever there's random draw games after a tournament, we feel that people actually enjoyed the laser tag, and so they want to play more.
Yeah, because they want to keep playing.
Yeah. So that was probably a top goal, was to make sure that the tournament was enjoyed by everyone.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, like having captains meetings midweek is like almost never good. Like you don't want to have that.
Yeah.
But I think it was important on Tuesday night that we had kind of like a mini airing of grievances just for different teams and captains, because I think there were multiple sources of frustration.
Yeah.
But they weren't the same source. So people, I think, just needed to kind of voice that, get it out there, and then talk to their teams and say, hey, here's some of the things that are happening, and this is kind of bothering other people, and here's some things that we're doing that maybe we should work on, because we want everybody to have a good time.
And to everyone's
and I think
credit,
people pretty much did.
It was
between
so good.
that and then like having the night out on Wednesday night. So thanks also to Rusty, because I don't know if you organized it, but you at least told me about it. Getting people down to the steakhouse, just have kind of a night out to relax
guys.
and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that was also good. And it was like things were getting better on Wednesday, but that definitely like completed the cycle and put everybody back into good spirits before we were going to start finals.
100%.
That was good. But it good vibe, I think.
Yeah.
It wasn't an angst-free week, because there can't ever be a completely angst-free week, but it was like low angst, and it was especially low angst for finals, which is what you want.
100%. And for after finals especially, right?
Yeah.
You just want to stick. Should we talk quickly about the individual awards, or the other awards that came out?
We should.
I can't remember them, so
I
everyone thanks for hanging
fortunately
out.
wrote them down.
Perfect.
You can check them out, or I guess you can't check the All-Star awards on LF Stats, but for everything else, for anything stat based, you can check on lfstats.com.
I love stats.
Jeez. LF Stats.
lfstats.com.
So Medic Killer was Rusty, the aforementioned menace at the heavy position. So again, doesn't play heavy the same way that guy next door does,
No.
but he still
Pretty effective.
Man, scary. Yeah, pretty effective.
I have noticed that in the past, like the way Brisbane play it's like a tidal wave. They crash through everything with this like crazy intensity, and if most teams can't like withstand that initial rush, and they just push you back into a corner and then pick you off, which you need a really effective heavy to do that, because you're kind of leaving your resupply in a vulnerable state. But anyway, well done, Meta Killer. That's huge.
Golden Gun for highest accuracy was moi.
Hey.
The trophy is right over something like that. Again, that's what like I kind of don't really feel like I fully earned it, because again, I feel like if I'm playing medic in a tournament for most of it, if I don't win Golden Gun, something has gone wrong, because I'm mostly just giving people lives and stuff like that. Like I at least want to probably like break off a piece and give it to Kodama, because he had to work a lot harder to get 90% accuracy than I had to work to get like 93% accuracy. That was like way easier for me.
Meh.
But hey, I still tried not to miss shots, and I didn't miss a lot of shots, so guess that's good.
That's good.
Rookie of the Year, who got a free month subscription to the resupply on Twitch, was Know It All, getting truly the most valuable trophy of all.
Well done, dude. We're glad to take somebody's money.
On your behalf.
We're gonna have to. I'll figure out a way to get you something. It might not be a trophy. It might be a drink bottle. Wait, unless you already got a drink bottle, and then that's useless to you. I'll figure something out. We'll figure out something actually nice and personalized for your achievement, not just some random bullshit that I have sitting around my house somewhere. Rookie of the Year won a Wii. You can see your Nintendo Wii. You need the trophy.
Give him a new physio table that just says like Know It All Rookie of the Year on it.
We'll get you something cool. Like a crisp high five.
And the Sportsmanship Award went to Lucy. I thought it was very well deserved, because Lucy really had to have a baptism by fire last week, because one, got put onto a team that had good experienced players, and I'm really glad she got to play with the Oakley guys, because I think you can't ask for any better teachers. But it was hard onto a team that only ended up winning one game at the end of the week, so that's a hard thing to deal with. And learning about resets really for the first time, and that shit's hard to learn.
Oh yeah.
And then adapting to our rules, which she knew, but it's the first time she'd really played them and stuff like that. And in spite of like all of those things, she was always in like super good spirits, and always like just wanted to chat with people and hang out and high five people after the game. Never gave up in a game, even when it was 6 people hunting her down and she was running from one end of the field to the other. Like, she tried the whole time. And there are more experienced players who I've seen give up much more easily. So I thought that was a very well deserved sportsmanship award by Lucy.
You want something personal? You got a trophy. That's what you got. That's what you go get.
Would you also like a 1 month subscription to the resupply?
Somebody will hook you up.
Somebody will hook you up.
Yeah, probably not us, cheapskates.
That would be counterproductive.
Yeah. I'm not giving my money away. No.
So then we had the stats-based MVP team. Commander was Beans. Heavy was Rusty. The scouts were Snuffles and Cheeseburger.
Ooh,
AKA
nice.
Bagel, AKA Josiah, AKA whatever. Now he's Duckling.
I thought Cheeseburger was Luke.
No, he was Cookie Dough.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Stop changing your names, guys.
Fucking jerks.
Ammo was Glader, and Medic was moi. So it's another one of those.
Ooh. I'm surprised you managed to pack a bag on your way back. You didn't have to buy extra luggage for all that bling.
just wrap them in your shirts.
That's right.
Yeah.
Did anyone?
Honestly, I was surprised because I have gotten stopped through security before for having trophies in my bag because it's like, what's this weird cylinder with metal in it in the middle of your bag? We don't like the looks of that. And like as I was going through security and stuff like that, the bag right in front of mine, they have that little machine, where it just like kicks it over to the inspection area.
Yeah.
And like the bag right in front of mine got kicked over. Then mine goes, and I was like, oh, it's gonna happen. And then it goes through. Then the bag right behind mine, it gets kicked over again. I was like, wow, really? I thought for sure I would get searched for having like the trophies in my bags, but maybe there's just not enough metal in them. So
Yeah.
thanks for getting plastic trophies instead of metal.
You're
so
welcome.
Stop
Cheapskates.
And then the All-Star team, which was voted amongst their peers, which we tried a very different system this year, and we went to online voting using a Google Sheet because we didn't have paper ballots, but I think it actually works pretty good.
I think so
For
too.
the first trial, like maybe we should try this in the future and just have people submit stuff on their phones.
It's so much easier to collate and yeah, like.
Yeah, except everybody spells Slaughtervillain slightly differently, and some people put 2 exclamation points on orange, and some only use 1, and so,
yeah, you can just kind of filter that shit out. But like, I think going forward, if people have enough time to be told, okay, this is what you need in order to vote, you need to sort it out beforehand. Again, I was kind of in a coma/fever dream when all this was happening, so I like Dan would come in, my wife Dan would come in.
So thanks to you, and also thanks for Dan for helping.
That was
me
all
get
Dan, all Dan.
So definitely put Dan on the list of thank yous also
Dan.
because she rescued the awards in her process. So that would have been pretty difficult to collate those All-Star votes otherwise.
Yeah, we had every intention of printing out ballots. I was going to come home and make them, and then instead of doing that, I passed out. So
and then he died.
And then I almost died. Yeah, again, fuck this game, man. For some reason, it just kills me every time. Yes, I like the system. I think it's maybe something that should get implemented moving forwards.
Yeah, something to think about. It was a happy accident. We'll say that.
Yeah.
But the voted awards, Commander was Morange.
Good job.
Heavy was Rusty. So repeat. We had a repeat on 4 out of 6 of these. Snuffles also got All-Star Scout, but Thunder was his buddy on the All-Star team.
Nice.
So glad to see our scouts coming through there. And then Resupply was once again Glader and myself.
Nice.
So
awesome.
Again, I'm happy to earn the respect of my peers. It was the first time I'd been medic like consistently all the way through a tournament. I will say now I have a lot more respect for people who are medic mains in tournaments. That shit is hard.
Dude, just resupply in
really
general. I struggled to move my mindset from heavy to ammo. It's such a completely different mindset that you need to have. As a heavy, I'm used to barking orders or kind of not having to worry about giving resupply. Yeah, it's such a weird thing to be able to make that shift. So mad props for being able to make the shift. It's tough. Yeah.
It is. That's one of the reasons why even a game where we flip some things around, I was like, guys, I don't think I really want to break this mindset right now. Like I'm like in the medic zone. I just kind of want to play it out. But
yeah, it
was a different experience. And when we were getting the team together, it wasn't necessarily what I was kind of intending to play because I had like tried to get into my head the last couple of years and I'm like, well, I can contribute in more ways than just resupply. Like I can still play other positions at a tournament. But I was like, just on this team, I think this is what works best.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's, the sacrifice that I need to make to play something that's a little out of my comfort zone, if that's what's going to help the team succeed, that's what I want to do. So hopefully that's what happened.
A really interesting thing, maybe we'll talk about this in a separate pod, but the kind of decision making that goes on as the veteran of the team or as the captain, this was the first time I felt that I had to make some really tough decisions during the week when it came to lineups. And yeah, I think maybe we'll talk about that in depth because it sounds like you went on a similar journey just with like a different outcome, or just the process that you have to go through as your leader.
Yeah.
to make some of those calls. So
Yeah.
maybe we'll talk about that.
And just to clarify, like, I don't think I was the only leader on my team. I think that everybody kind of like stepped up in certain key moments, and I saw everybody kind of blossom into a leader at one time or another during the week. Like, everybody had standout moments. Everybody had a game where they were really the ones who were able to shine and kind of like get the job done.
Mm-hmm.
So it was good to see. But I appreciate my team for making me feel like I was still involved, even though that sometimes that's hard as a medic to feel like you're contributing as much as everybody else, because it's just it's different. It's a very different mindset.
Yeah, again, it's very anti-laser tag.
In a lot of ways, yeah.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. Was there any other awards or anything else?
That was it for the awards. I mean, there's some like miscellaneous stuff that we can get into. Like Applesauce by a margin of 2 won the battle for medic on medic hits.
Ooh.
So that was one of the few medic achievements I didn't get, but good on you, Applesauce. Especially since I know a couple of those were against me too, so I'm like,
shit.
No. Let's see. The total number of nukes canceled was a tie between Cody and Kodama at 4 apiece. There were like a lot of nukes canceled this tournament.
Yeah, I felt like a lot of them came from
like
my commander.
Like small field, I guess that happens
Yeah.
more because it's just it's easier to track somebody down if they're nuking, because there's only so many places they can be.
Nuke on nuke. Cancels,
yeah. There were a few nuke over nukes as well. There were, well, at least in round play, there was only one friendly nuke cancel, which was Troy hitting Rusty when he was going for a nuke. But
and yeah, he still got awards. That's some bullshit.
It was not the last one.
That should disqualify you immediately.
That's what Aiden said. Because Glader definitely got one of Taipan's in a finals game as well. Not in the final, but in the semifinal that we played against them.
What's your problem, Brisbane guys?
It's interesting. I heard 2 very different versions of the incident, one from Andrew, one from Taipan, as to what actually happened on that one.
That's pretty funny. Get better, you scrubs. Just jokes. Right.
Okay, so Ducky's a neutral observer. Maybe he can sort through the details of what happened. Yeah, I was looking for who had the most nukes of theirs canceled, because I've heard both from Morange and Beans that are both like, "Oh, it was me for sure, 100%." And it's like,
There's one of them.
It can't be both of you.
I would love to know how many of Morange's got cancelled by Cody, because it seemed like for the rest of his days, Morange will wake up in cold sweats just randomly in the middle of the night, be like, "Oh, Cody." I watched
nukes to Cody. He doesn't even go upstairs. Come on, Morange.
Oh, it's so funny. And it's almost like Cody. I think this is what was happening, because I saw it.
Oh, he'll sniff him out.
Oh,
he'll
dude,
sniff him out.
I think what he sees is he sees Scott run a certain way up long ramp, and he's like, he's gonna go upstairs and nuke. I'm gonna go get him.
He's that huge nuke boner in his pants, and then just like, I don't think so.
Oh, nuke boner, yuck. So he ran from C-section with a nuke boner.
Running away with the missile bait award by a margin of 15 missiles was our good friend Hoodlum.
That's never a shock. What is a shock?
What is a shock is him not getting medic killer.
That's right.
Yeah. Usually he makes those missiles count. He's like, I don't care if you can.
I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna kill your medic. Yeah. I remember, because he got in Brisbane. It was something like 11 or 12 medic hits in the game against us. Yeah. And I think I put all 5 of my missiles in 14 medic hits. I put all of my missiles into him, and he's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna kill your medic out single-handedly. Which didn't it looks a little sketch. So I assure you, Taipan, that didn't happen on purpose. I
know it wasn't, because I was in the green tower, like, shooting you in the back when you kept looking to try to get Hoodlum. You're like, Hoodlum's not gonna get past him. Like, oh, there's Steve. Go get him, Hoodie.
Fucking jerks.
It was amazing.
Yeah. Any more?
Let's see. So he won missile bait, and that was the other thing that I was happy to see is that on the other end of the tournament spectrum, the person missiled the least in the week was moi.
Ooh, good
Only
job.
two.
Good
Only
job.
2 missiles. It's always my goal going into a tournament that I'm like, I don't want to eat any missiles and I don't want to get any penalties.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, that never happens, but that's like the goal. Like, I hate getting missiled.
It sucks.
I hate getting missiled, and especially like as a medic, and it's awful.
There's always going to
And I will
be
say, at
that
least-
one where you couldn't have done
Yeah.
anything to avoid it. Like,
Oh, the one where Rusty got me, I was 100% dead to rights.
Yeah. it
Yeah.
sucks. Like, it's
Like he
always gonna
caught
be
me
that one.
coming out of the yellow base cubby, and I'm like, I can't do anything. He's gonna missile me 100%.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm not getting missiled here.
Was there a melted gun? I don't like this particular stat. That's why I don't think there should ever be an award for it.
Well, depending on how we're measuring it, if melted gun means most shots fired in the tournament, the winner would be Odin's Fist at 2,595 shots fired.
Nice.
If we're going off accuracy, the person with the lowest overall accuracy for the tournament, I believe, was Basil. Let me double check.
I was real worried for a second you were going to say my name, which really
Nope.
pissed me off.
Basil at 63.1, and 2K King next up, 63.54.
Classic Scouts.
Classic Scouts.
Classic Scouts.
So
Right,
depending
right.
on how we're defining melted gun, it's either Odin or Basil.
Right.
Ammo's got an unfair advantage, though.
Yeah. Unlimited shots. Right on.
And I think that's about it.
Well, that's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Congratulations to everyone who took home a trophy. I hope it looks good on your shelf wherever you decide to stick it. I hate not winning trophies, but at the same time, oh no, I won a trophy. Fuck
You
all
got a
y'all.
trophy. You got a trophy.
No.
It's right behind your head, bro.
That's right. It's right there. I forgot. I'm glad I won a trophy.
Me too.
Yeah,
Me too.
Yeah, but obviously we don't necessarily only play this game for trophies. We play this game
No,
for bragging
I wasn't
rights.
intending to come into this tournament to get any trophy other than the first place trophy was the only one I cared about.
Yeah.
The other ones just kind of happened.
The like for me it's usually I won an all-star heavy, but I've won one of those, so I'm content with that. And to be fair, I was in much better shape when I won that, so it's all good. 100%
That's motivation to get back in shape. There you go.
Fuck Frenchio. I don't know who that is. A trophy would look cool on your shelf. Well, so Lucy doesn't want hers, so you could probably just take that one. we'll just scratch it out and we'll put Rookie of the Year or whatever fits. We'll fit something in there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's we we do our best to excel at tournaments, and sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't. But I'm glad that people walked away from this one with mostly positive feelings. There might have been one or two people that walked away from this tournament not walking away in a positive state. You can't please everyone, unfortunately. It happens.
Too bad.
It happens.
I'm pretty happy.
What now? That's a good question, Ducky. And very surprising coming from you. There needs to be a conversation about where the next Nats is going to be. This conversation usually happens with the Laserforce Tournament Committee. If you want to be involved, be involved. Come to somebody like DK or Than or somebody who's been around our center for a long time,
Or better yet, somebody who has an actual site.
True, but somebody who's been around for a while, and get yourself involved in the tournament, because what the hell is that red light for? Come on, man.
Red base is under attack.
Get yourself involved, because there have been some people in the past that have said, oh, the shady tournament committee doing shady deals behind everyone's back. It's not the case. The committee is made
Most
up
people
of...
don't want to work on stuff.
Exactly.
So.
It's made up of the people that are willing to do the work to make this stuff happen. So if you are willing to make stuff happen, be involved. Be involved as much as you want to be. we'll figure out probably where people want to travel to next. Cedar City, I would love to play next year.
Yeah, with some of the current intel. I mean, some of this is my opinion versus what's going on. I love you, Cedar City guys. I'm not 100% confident that you're going to have a brand new arena built in the next, I would say, 9 months, because we can't
6 is probably
run it. We can't run it up to. Oh yeah, the arena will definitely be done by Nat's time. Don't worry about it, or something like that. Like, it needs to be finished ahead of time for us to book that kind of thing.
Yeah.
There has not been a formal offer from Loveland, but I know that they are definitely interested. And I think Caleb has even already had a conversation with some of the Loveland guys and said if you guys want to host next year, don't feel like you have to delay because of Cedar City. If you get the go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
There are some rumblings about a Detroit event that's not a Nats, but it'll be an event of some kind, most likely at the end of either the end of this year or the start of next year. Probably November or January are the dates that are being discussed now. So if you have feelings about that, about whether you'd rather go in November or January, reach out to somebody who represents your site or somebody in the Detroit area, most notably Rhea, I think, is trying to get it organized, aka Wolfie. So yeah, make your voice heard if you have input on this kind of stuff. But that's all I know right now.
Wait, what dates for what, Marcus? Are you talking about Nats, or are you talking about this Detroit thing that's been talked about? Because we can't set Nats dates until we have a site. The Detroit one will happen. There's a discussion on the tournaments page. I think most of you are involved in the tournaments page.
Probably by next month we'll get dates set one way or another. I think it would just start as kind of a conversation of, hey, ask some people at your site, would you be interested in going in November or January? Because those are kind of the dates that we're playing with right now. So I think it's kind of some information gathering, and then once we get some kind of sense, I'm sure that Rhea or somebody else as a representative of Detroit will post something in probably the Laserforce Tournament's Facebook page and say, hey, we're interested in having this event. Come on out.
Yeah. You have 40 days of vacation to be spent sometime. It's probably because you haven't done any traveling for a while, so I'm not surprised you got all this leave.
Real homebody.
Yeah, what the hell? But yeah, we'll hopefully have somewhere lined up, and then we can start all consider. We can all start to consider coming out of retirement to play it. So.
Oh, I've said nothing about retiring.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I'm one of the few people who haven't said they're retiring.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how we go. I'm actually surprised because at the before Nats happened, there was a lot of talk about this is our last Nats ever from a few people, specifically those who are based in the or were based in the Oakley arena, and towards the end of the week. That tune changed, surprisingly. Oh, yeah. I was real surprised. Taipan's already on retirement.
The Perth scene.
What's that?
Ducky's going to go take over the Perth scene.
Now, so. Dude, I hope something happens. It'd be great. We'd love we could all go to Perth. Perth is really hard to get to for you guys. But, it is what it is. Yeah.
Taipan can unretire. That's fine. We already retired Taipan once. Somebody else can retire him next time.
You never officially retired. No, I heard a lot of talk. Yeah. Oh, hey, just as a side note, because he's still in chat, did you see Disco Stu hit a hole in one?
I did.
Oh, dude, that's so awesome. That's
pretty crazy.
Pretty crazy. You make sure there will be Europe in 2027. 27? What's wrong with you people? 27 is a long way away. Let's talk 25 at a push. Only.
But, I mean, we started planning the Auckland Nats 4 years ago, so we might as well start it on Europe.
That was only supposed to be a year.
I know, that was
fucker.
But hey.
You never know. There could be another pandemic between now and then, so who knows?
Well, if there is, I'm sure it's going to be coming out of your country because you guys just cannot stay healthy no matter what happens.
Ow. Shut up. Unrelated. So we we will be hopefully on next week. I don't have any plans to not be here for over the next little while. So we will hopefully be on next week. But we're gonna talk more Nat stuff. I think next week we'll talk about sort of game plan stuff. I'd love to do a deep dive into stuff. We might.
I still have like a whole list of like the good, the bad, and the ugly that I usually do after a tournament, but we'll save that for another week.
We're gonna stretch this out, like a hipster with an earlobe piercing. Never call it QBS for nothing. Yeah. I loved this tournament. Absolutely loved this tournament. I put a lot of myself in this tournament. Especially on the last day. You know, which is why a bunch of people got sick. But we I don't know that shortcut command. Sorry, know-it-all. I don't know what that means. You could taste it. Ew. But yeah, I'm glad that it went overall pretty well. We still have to do a recap of all the shenanigans that happened after Nats, but we might do that like later. We'll do that in a few weeks.
We spent like 2 weeks together. You think we're gonna cover that all in one day?
No freaking way. We barely scratched the surface.
Yep. Some other business, I guess, on my end is that I and hopefully the other members of my team are going to be on Tivia's podcast next week.
Amazing.
I don't know when exactly it's going to be posted because I don't think she streams it live. I think it'll be pre-recorded.
Yeah. That's why the quality's better.
Hopefully it's okay for me to say that that's going forward since we have the thing scheduled. But I'm sure we will get that.
Oh, that's so cool.
Sometime after it airs. And in addition to Steve putting up the videos of gameplay for the whole day on YouTube, which I really appreciate you doing. I was super freaked out when they disappeared from Twitch. Yeah. I was like, look, where'd they go? But I remember, I was like, I saw Steve hit stop recording the end of every day. He must have them recorded somewhere.
Yeah. I made sure to download them, obviously, before they disappeared. Which I was very close. It was like 0 days remaining. I was like, oh, maybe you need to do that.
Yeah. Well, and I was glad that I'd ripped the final game off of Twitch before that. But based on what you've done, I started like ripping some of the individual games, and I think I just stashed them on like my own YouTube channel for right now, but we can get those posted some other time. But my plan is also to hopefully record some commentary on individual games and put those up probably on the Resupply YouTube page when we get around to that. So if you, especially I'm interested in people who played in a particular game or match or something like that. If you want to go through and watch one of those and there's a particular game that you want to comment on with me, just hit me up and we can probably work out a time to record that.
One thing I would like to do, but have very little patience for, is kind of like another highlights video, but from the tournament, so from the actual stream. And Luke sort of went through and took out a couple of pieces, but it's something I thought about, since. Ow. Ooh, might be bleeding a little bit.
That's a problem.
Yeah, there's a problem.
Blood, no.
My stitch. Ow, fucker. Yeah, I would like to go through and put together like a little highlights package of like people's reactions and like, the like epic moments throughout there were some great ones during the week. So, there's so much content and I love it because it's been 4 years of that well being very, very close to being dry. But our cup runneth over at the moment, so we're going to make the most of it.
Yes, we are.
But we appreciate you guys hanging out. Today obviously is like much longer than we normally go for. So we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. In terms of streaming, so like I said at the top of the show, I've been recovering currently from surgery, and I've been finding that it's had very low energy and like quite sore after sitting for quite some time. So I don't know if I'll continue doing streams this week. We might do one on Thursday for Thunderdome, but the Resupply channel will be a little bit quieter over the next probably month. With the exception, the
man's practically bionic. Let's give him a minute here.
With the exception of the podcast, because I've been itching to do a podcast since we finished, and obviously we didn't get to do last week, which I was pretty gutted about, but I was also very hopped up on goofballs, so
That would have been interesting.
yeah, it would have been, can't get any worse. But for this week, thank you guys so much. I've been Guy Next Door.
I've been DK.
Always remember to keep your stitches clean, folks. Backtrack, kids. We will see you next week for some more post-nat shenanigans. Ka kite anō. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Naketiano.
Nailed it. Good job. Oh, wait, what button? This button. Fuck.
God, no.
I've been throwing daggers in the night. I've been chasing all the stars, stealing all their lights. The cut so sharp, cut so deep. If they seem to hit their target, must be what we reap. 'Cause you don't know what I know. You don't feel the way I feel. All these places I wanna go makes me wonder if my looks could kill. I've been throwing daggers in my dreams. If they seem to hit their target, it's harder than it seems. 'Cause you don't know what I know. And you don't feel the way I feel. And all these places I wanna go makes me wonder if my looks could kill. I'm a well-known stranger, walking my own path. Gave up all my mysteries just to get a laugh. You keep me hanging on so tight. Sometimes I just have to wonder, do you know wrong from right? 'Cause you don't know what I know. But you don't feel the way I feel. All these places I wanna go